Today in the grain market, soybeans did rally, that oil rebound helping to support the grain futures. It's really the relief in the crude collapse had a positive effect on all the grains, but it's going to take a little bit more to reverse the bearish momentum. I think seasonally speaking, we should see higher prices. I think that they're in our future right now. And especially we see that China has finally started to honor their phase one agreement. I know that there were rumors at that, and it was a little bit of a surprise, but definitely a welcome participation in these markets that they stepped in and bought everything. So I think it gave the market a little bit of a shot in the arm that we were looking for. There's still many unknowns, and the weekend is sometimes an eternity. So we're going to watch closely and just be cautious going forward. Now, corn also was a little bit mixed. It actually came out of the gate very, very strong. And to my surprise, it came a little bit lower, especially because it's tied to the oil market when we're speaking of the ethanol factor. But that some of that Chinese business really gave it that push. But it's difficult to say if there just wasn't enough underlying support, and maybe that's what that indication is. Yesterday's rally is still intact, so that's a positive. And it seems that we have some great support underneath, but the virus still has a lot of things uncertain, and we're not sure if we're ready yet, but it looks difficult to really retreat anytime soon. I think that this weekend will tell the tale. If we can get ahead of steam going for next week, I think that we're solidly, the bottom is solidly in. But for the most part, we're going to just have to watch it day by day. But we're above that 350 mark, and so that is the biggest thing. So that, again, is going to offer some particular support. Now, when it comes to wheat, it's a little bit higher, and the future rebound is gaining some momentum. Now, it really rallied pretty strongly. Now, we know that wheat has been a relatively thin market overall, and that's why we see it moving a lot more, not a lot more quickly than other markets. Now, the Chinese purchase also helps, and all three exchanges were up. It's kind of like following the oil. But it's curious that the market didn't retain the day's gains. I was kind of surprised at that, but it's still very positive for now. I think the weather looks pretty well, and it may put a lid on any kind of significant rally right now. And of course, as we're going through the coronavirus situation, I think that the markets are going to be very nimble and sensitive to anything that happens with that, and as far as like news or any kind of headline. Plus, the stock market and along with the crude markets are going to be really important. And we know that we still are not competitive on the wheat side with the rest of the global market. And the U.S. dollar index so strong, it makes it difficult to really see that we're going to have a big rally. But certainly we did get a very nice rebound all the way across the board. I expect some good things coming next week.